Okay.
Recorded.
Where does your water come from? Do you have to pay for it?
Our water comes from a well right now, and it's over 300 feet deep, and so the money that we have to spend is to pump that water up using electricity.
Okay.
And then the money that went into it, actually the well was pre-existing when we got the land, so we didn't have to pay for sinking the well, but we did have to pay for the part of the irrigation system, although we got help with that through the Natural Resource Conservation Service.
How do you use your water?
The water from the well I'm talking about, we use to water all of our crops, and we use drip irrigation and overhead irrigation, and then the water from that well also Megan and the apprentices used to shower with and to wash dishes with. And then we have there's a different well where our drinking water comes from.
On average, how much water do you use on the farm?
That is a great question. I don't know the answer to that. We could probably look at our meter. I don't know, but I do know that we use, it's about an inch of water a week that we replace to actively growing crops. But you would have to calculate, how much acreage is that, and do the math. That could be a math problem for you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Have you ever had any issues with the water supply or quality of the water?
Yes.
So what were those problems?
We are having issues with the water we use to water our crops has a lot of salt in it, and we're worried that it's affecting our plants over time. So we want to use another source of water to blend that water so it's not so salty. And we would love it if we could get drinking water down here for the people that live on site here and for the groups that come here, rather than we have to truck it back and forth in 5-gallon buckets or containers.
Have drought or flooding ever affected your farm? If so, how do you deal with it?
We have not had so much flooding. There's some areas that a lot of water flow happens over by the composting toilet that we need to divert. But yeah, we haven't had too much issue with flooding here. We have pretty nice sloping land. Feel free to chime in if I'm talking too much.
How does your water supply affect your ability to grow your crops?
We do have some limitations in the gallons per minute from our well, but they do the water fills these two 10,000 gallon tanks, so we can only water so much at a time and have adequate pressure for that watering. So we can't use overhead water. This is a complicated answer, but we have to just be conscious of what we're watering and when. But I think we have an adequate supply for what we're doing, but we do have to be conscious of how we're using it.
Do you have any methods to conserve water?
Yes, drip tape. I've heard that drip tape pretty much cuts your water usage in half on a farm, because you're not losing water to evaporation, and it's putting the water exactly where you want it in the root zone of the plant. So that's one way. And then we do some dry farming. We dry farm our potatoes and our tomatoes, and that saves water. Gray water up top. We've got going on around our